It was a very quiet, peaceful night, and I woke up and felt our own recharge and the presence of deep healing and deep energy. And I remembered feeling that living in New York, of all places, that you would walk through just this unbearable, crazy crackenades mix of the subway, and then get off and go up into these quiet ivory towers. And there was a hubbub going on, a continual hub of this weird kind of, third wave of machinations or, tech revolution, along with this deep quietude of proofreading. This deep, deep quietude of proofreading. And how one could kind of go from one to the other. I guess I shouldn't speak in a third party. But we sort of all did. Sometimes you'd come out into the night and have a limo waiting and just cruise up the Upper West Side or the Upper East Side or over a bridge if you lived in Brooklyn or something. Cruising up the Upper West Side at 4 a.m. was a treat. It did get quiet and beautiful. So there were these deep meditative times such as that, either being in a giant quiet conference room overlooking lights and rivers in just complete silence. Was worth all of the dragons and the Jurassic Park, as it were, to arrive at that place of quietude and thought that one did have to pay one's dues for, no matter who you were. Even if you were Mr. Plum, there was one such individual, an attorney, Mr. Plum, who was very tall and very British in this the Jefferson's neighbor sort of way, affable, wildly late, sort of more model-esque in the way of looks, tall and straw-colored hair. And I think he did wear plum-colored dyes. I think he was able to, be in on the joke. And his life did seem like a plum. And it's funny now that I think about it, because the office we worked in was Richards, McGill, Allegarth, and McNeil, and it was in the lipstick building, which was oval shaped and went a little bit smaller and higher in a tiered way. I think it was on Lexington, and I actually did an evening gig there for a long time. Not for a long time, but for a while. It was evenings. The World in the Evening, right, by Christopher Isherwell. So Mr. Plum would come in around 5 p.m. This was a sort of mid-sized to smaller firm. Elegant, but was not full 24 hours, really. It sort of went to about midnight. And I think he was very avoided in a charming sort of way. It seemed like he just didn't want to see the other lawyers, perhaps, and so would just, you know, kind of wait around, maybe home or something, and then dash in, right? Dash in breathless, off the elevator. Much apologies to everyone. He probably had great clients or something, and who knows, maybe with the time difference in Britain, but I think it would only make it later there, wouldn't it, into the night. And then he would arrive, and he was a bit of a magnet for some of the girls in the word processing room. So they would always come, and some of them would even try to sit on the edge of his desk, and he would, put his feet up on the desk and his hands behind his head, and he would lean back and look around as if overwhelmed or something, and then he would kind of be very affable, but kind of eventually get everyone out of his room, and he would sort of look around and, I don't know, maybe grab pens. At that point, everyone would be gone, leaving him up to catch up on all of the things he had been behind upon. And the next time I would walk by that area, if I was so called to, because he was in an office that had big windows even looking into it, and it was across from the word processing room, or maybe he just kept his door wide open. There was something very open about where he was. And he would invariably have gone home for the night, grabbed everything, tossed it in the briefcase, and headed out the door. So it was just very funny about Mr. Plum. And I woke up in that recharged way and felt this kind of bizarre kundalini almost feeling of, you put your feet on the ground, you put your hands together, and you stick with the program. We have been through much, and we are grateful for all of it. To God in the most Leonardo da Vinci sort of ways. The beauty of patterns. Here we are. We even have a little extra blanket, but he's been enjoying the wood. And we're just sort of making lemonade from lemons. Many blessings.